Okay, a square lash will always start with a clove hitch. What we're going to do is we're going to come around over the top of the cross piece, and we're going to take this tail and just wrap it around. So we kind of trap that tail as we go. And we're going to come over the top and underneath, and then over the top and underneath, over the top and underneath. And we're going to do that 3 times. And we're going to try to keep this dressed as neat as we can as we go. And now we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. At this point, we've got our wraps. We're going to do 2 fraps. And fraps go in between the wraps to keep them tight. So at this point, you're going to go in between the 2 timbers like this and around. Now, on these frapping turns, you want to use what's called a frapping stick. And you want to take something like a marlin spike hitch to attach that so that it can't pull free. And you can exert a lot of pressure on it to pull that frapping down tight. And then you're going to come around again and continue to pull as you go for 2 full turns. Every time you make a turn, you're going to use that frapping stick to pull those lashings tight. The last time you come around, you're going to finish that lash again with a clove hitch. So just make an X, put your line through the X, so draw your line through an X. That gives you a clove hitch. Tighten that down. That gives you a solid square lashing. Okay, anytime we're using 2 pieces of round material, we're going to use wraps and fraps on our lashings. If we have 2 pieces of material that we've notched so that they lock together, we only need the wraps. We don't want the fraps because the fraps are only going to lift it up out of the notch going in between. Those fraps are to tighten your lashings, but you don't need that if you've already locked it in by notching it. Okay, let's look at what's called a diagonal lash. With a diagonal lash, you're going to start it out different than a square lash. You're going to start out with a timber hitch instead of a clove hitch. So you're going to pull that timber hitch down, and then you're going to wrap in diagonal fashion like this. 3 times around. Then you're going to come back around and go 3 times the opposite direction. Keep everything dressed as you go. And once we've done it 3 times, again, now we're going to go with our frappings, and we're going to go around that twice. And every time we make a full circle on a frap, we're going to use that frapping stick in a marlin spike hitch, just like this, so that it's taut. And we're going to pull that down tight every time we come around. Just like that, to give us a good solid diagonal lash. Then we will finish that again with a clove hitch. And now we have an X or diagonal lash. Again, the same thing applies if you have these notched to fit together instead of round on round. You don't need the frappings, you only need the wrappings. All right, let's talk about a shear lash where we're going to connect 2 poles together. Again, we're going to start out with a timber hitch for this lash. So we'll tie our timber hitch in, just like this. Pull it down. Now, we don't need the wraps on this to be extremely tight because our frappings are going to do that for us. So we're going to go around here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And when we come around that last time, we're going to come in between the poles here and pull things down this way. Dress everything up. And now these frapping turns are going to go between the pole this direction. And again, we want to utilize that frapping stick on a marlin spike hitch to really pull down on that and tighten everything up. And we'll put 2 frappings in there and tighten them up really good. And then just like the last time, we will come up to this last stick and we'll finish this in a clove hitch. And this is going to give us a bipod that the legs will articulate